Hello and good morning. Okay, welcome to the regular mindset slot here in Gemma's group. Yeah, so welcome everybody. It's a lovely sunny Friday as well, so I'm really pleased about that. It's going to be a good start to the weekend. Um, okay, so today we're talking about procrastination. So if you're here watching me live, just drop in the comments, let me know, do you procrastinate? And if so, what do you do? What's your go-to procrastination activity? Because we've all got different ones. I don't think there's anyone, I certainly haven't met anyone who in business who doesn't procrastinate for one reason or another. And it's something that kind of happens to all of us. It's triggered in lots of different ways. Morning, Caroline. Yeah, so Caroline, tell me, do you procrastinate? Yeah, what triggers you to procrastinate? Um, yeah, so it's triggered in lots of different ways, and it's my belief with procrastination. Sometimes it's more a case of working through it rather than trying to beat it, because procrastination, certainly for me, is caused by a block in my flow. So if there's something that comes up, I like a clear run at stuff, and if I can't have a clear run at it, it kind of, if I can't have the time or the space, creativity as well as, when we're doing something new, if I can't get a clear run at it, it's almost like I just sort of bounce around and never quite get there. So Caroline's saying yes, she does procrastinate, absolutely. So procrastinating with purpose is how we kind of work through our flow, and get back to productivity. So I was working with a client yesterday who's got a big uh, yes, so perfectionism is my procrastination tool. Yeah, Caroline, absolutely, absolutely. So my wanting to have a clear run at something is triggered by perfectionism. It's like, wanting to have the perfect amount of time, the perfect situation, all, and then looking at what you've created as well. Yeah, so how much time do you waste, trying to hit perfectionism? Yeah, because it's a tricky one, isn't it? Absolutely. So yeah, so I was working with a client yesterday, and so she's got a big holiday booked. It's in February, and she's going to be going away for sort of 3 weeks, and it's a big away holiday. It's a I'm not going to be really checking in on my social media kind of thing. Um, and when we had our conversation yesterday, when we had our session, and she was definitely sitting in that procrastination energy. It was like, I don't know what to do before I go. I know that when I come back, I'm going to be struggling to get back into it. What do I do? What do I plan? And there was a lot of hesitation there around not wanting to get started on certain things, because she was then going to be going away. And I found that very interesting. It's definitely something that I've experienced myself. My daughter's been home from uni, and while she's an absolute joy to be around, it's not a big burden for me. I kind of, a bit like Caroline's perfectionism, I kind of used it as a little bit of an excuse, because it meant that I wasn't getting into the flow of doing things normally. Things like meal planning. So I've been doing a healthy eating challenge, and getting back onto it. And all the time she was here, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go. But I found myself going back to all the bad habits. Yeah, so Caroline's saying it's just a stalling tool for lots of other things. Yeah, so this is the thing. So, what does it feel like? When perfectionism is often, it's a huge trigger for procrastination, and it comes from not necessarily wanting to be perfect, but that little niggle of self-doubt. If I do this, is it going to work? Am I wasting my time? What will the repercussions be? And we start this little trigger of negative self-talk, yeah, that really causes us to procrastinate. So fear and confusion, are slightly different from procrastination, because we avoid things almost on purpose, even though it sits in quite a subconscious level. We are actively avoiding things. So procrastination is more of an emotional feeling, and as I say, it's about getting that energy flowing. It's about things not feeling quite right. Um, so working with this client yesterday and chatting with her, and it was like, okay, so we need to plan through the thing that's blocking, working through that procrastination. So it was about breaking it down into very, very simple steps as to, okay, so what doesn't need to happen before that holiday, what needs to happen after it, what needs to happen before, and kind of creating. So planning creates a huge energy to keep us going past these blocks. It's planning, manifests an energy that helps us to show up on days when we don't feel like it, but also when we're struggling with procrastination and avoidance and all these other different things. So it was about looking at what that plan would look like, setting some tasks that can be done now and focusing on those. Again, procrastination, we're trying to maybe think about too many different things all the time, and yeah, it just creates all this like funky energy. So we waste lots of time, and we get exhausted by it. If you procrastinate often, so Caroline, how often do you procrastinate? I mean, how much of your time is taken up by that? For me, I procrastinate when I need to level up, when I know that there's something new coming. And a lot of people have struggled getting back in at the start of this year. And again, that it's that opportunity of something new. It's a new year. It's, hopefully we're coming out of all the crap we've been in and all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, oh, okay, but I'm not quite sure what that means for me. It's almost, it's off opportunity, isn't it? Can often cause procrastination. So when we want to level up in our business, when we want to try something new, each time I have a new project, I tend to procrastinate. So what I've learnt to do is to procrastinate with purpose. That's the trick. That's the key. Because if we try and block the procrastination by distracting ourselves with other things, we won't create that right flow. So I've got 7 little rituals, little tips, things that I do, certainly things that I've shared with my clients that have worked for them, that help to work through that procrastination with purpose. And it's something that can be done, we can procrastinate for an hour or a few hours or a day, but some of us can actually procrastinate for days, weeks on end. Okay, so these tips, you might not need all of them. Some of them will make more sense to you than others, but I feel that by working through them, by noticing them, by working through these little habits and rituals, it helps us to work through that procrastination. So whether that's in the moment, in a day, okay, what do I need to do? Well, okay, do I need to tidy my desk? It's that kind of stuff. Clearing out the clutter. A declutter absolutely brings back the flow of energy and motivation and clarity. Clarity is a flow of process, and these are all things that are happening on a subconscious level. So Caroline's saying, not as much as I used to, but I now work with a better plan in my business. It's as simple as that, Caroline, isn't it? The plan. Okay, I find clarity helps push through the procrastination. Exactly, yes. So when procrastination is triggered, we go back to the plan, don't we? We say, right, when I was feeling clearer, when I wasn't procrastinating, what was it I said I was going to do? Okay, and it serves as a reminder. So that's fantastic, Caroline. Absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what we need to be doing. We need to be having a plan that reminds us, that motivates us, and creates that energetic flow. I mean, my brain, I'm a woman of a certain age, let's say, and my memory is not what it used to be. And often I will come to my desk and go, what am I doing? What's my job? What am I supposed to be doing? And with so much to do in your business, when we work for ourselves, it's all on us, isn't it? It's great to outsource at some point, yeah, but you still need to know what you're outsourcing. So for most of us, we're kind of wearing all the hats, aren't we? And if your energy is not where it needs to be, yeah, so I sit there and go, what am I doing? Okay, so having the plan when you're feeling clearer, so plan when you're feeling, have clarity, and then come and do your work, and your plan will help you to do that. So that's brilliant, Caroline, absolutely fantastic. Planning is 100% the key to working through all of the struggles. Okay, so my first little tip for you is loving your workstation. So I used to have a desk that was in the kitchen. It was a tiny little IKEA desk. It was in a corner of the kitchen. Anyone that's been in my kitchen will know it's freezing because we've got really high ceilings, and it's the dark side of the house. So it was always cold, and I never felt like I could get away from it. It was always there. And that really used to cause me all sorts of issues. Now I have an office, I have a space that I can move into to be calm, but also one I can move away from. So having a workstation that brings you calm, somewhere where you can work easily. You know, if you like to leave papers out, if you'd like to sort of, you know, step away, you know, if you've got small kids, you know, you're not sitting there for 8 hours of the day, are you? And not that you would want to. So you want to have a workstation that you love. It helps with productivity as well. So, and also investing in the right equipment. Okay, so that's a really good one. Now, that's not about going out and buying a really fancy computer and all sorts of expensive stuff. It's about finding the right thing for you. So having equipment, like I had a stapler. I had a stapler years ago. And every time I went to staple with it, it would, you know, it would get stuck and jammed. And it's like, it just used to just drive me to distraction. Having nice pens, you know, I like these pens, these sort of blue and white ones that have got the different colours at the top. I don't want to be scrabbling around for a red pen when I feel like I'm in a red pen mood. And I absolutely love these. You know, it was a huge discovery for me when I started working with these pens, how much easier things were. Having a camera that works, you know, if you're going live, you know, knowing you've got good speakers, you've got good sound, a mouse that doesn't, you know, isn't annoying, a keyboard that's not annoying. There's all these different things. So having things where you can see them as well. I've got lots of folders. They're like the floppy ones that I keep client work in, and also stuff for the dog business. But they don't stand up on their own, so they need to be put in something that will hold them up. And for a long time, they were sort of flopping on the shelf, and it was like, no, what do I need? So investing in the right equipment that helps you to work, you know, with a nice energetic flow, you know, is a really, really great way to keep working towards productivity. You know, if something feels like it's going to be an effort, you're not going to do it. So that will cause you to procrastinate. So using the right apps and platforms in exactly the same way as having the right equipment, having the right apps and platforms. You know, if you're showing up on a platform and it's really triggering you, for example, or it feels really hard, you know, I've been working on Instagram, and you know, I've come to the conclusion, yes, I'm not going to be the best person on Instagram, but I see other people doing great stuff and reels and all this kind of stuff, and it does block me, and it causes me to procrastinate about what I want to post on Instagram, because I'm like, well, I can't really do it as well as them. I don't want to do all those, you know, the fancy stuff. Is it what I want? Is it where my clients are? You know, if you're showing up on a platform day after day and getting no results because that's not where your ideal client is, then that is going to cause you to procrastinate about what content you're going to post, how often you're going to do it. When we show up with confidence, and we know we're getting results, that creates flow. Having apps, so you know, I do Google My Business now. Google My Business is, I do a lot of stuff on my desktop. Most of, you know, I tend to try and work, not to work on my phone, because that's a never-ending pit of work, isn't it? Because we've always got our phone with us. So I tend to try and work at my desktop. But Google My Business, the app for Google My Business is absolutely incredible, because you know, we're encouraged to share regularly onto Google My Business, and it's actually quicker and easier to do it on the phone. So having an app, so I sit in bed with my coffee in the morning, it takes me like 2 minutes to share on Google My Business. Um, and using the app for that is actually the right thing. So finding the right apps, and bringing things into one place. If you've got stuff all over the place, it causes procrastination. So gathering all your papers together. So a lot of us, I mean, I work online, I work on apps, I use, digital platforms, but I still love a piece of paper. And one of the things I did at the start of this year was, I'm looking at getting together resources, trying to repurpose stuff, thinking, I've been doing this a long time now, and it's like, yeah, I've always got this urge to keep creating new stuff, and in actual fact I don't need to do that. So I went through and looked at all the stuff I've done in the past. Each time I do one of these, for example, I type it out, I print it out. I need to be able to go back to these things, but clearing clutter. So gathering all your papers together, because if you're feeling overwhelmed, and overwhelm and procrastination are very good friends. So if you procrastinate for too long, overwhelm is is just around the corner. See you later, Caroline. Yeah, we'll catch up later. Yeah, so if gathering all your papers together. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, things might often not be as bad as you think they are. Again, we need to get clarity. So if you've got lots of stuff all over the place, if you're working off 3 different lists, if you haven't got your plan in one place, gathering together your physical resources and sorting through them, again, is a great way to declutter, but also to bring back that flow and that productivity, because it's never as bad as you think it is. Okay, we ignore it, go, oh, I can't bear to think about it, and then but it stops us doing stuff. Get visibility on it, and then that will help to bring back your flow. And that's something that can be done on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a yearly basis. Sorting your folders. So I do the same declutter for my digital folders. So I have a lot of my resources in Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, all that kind of stuff. And whilst I've got lots and lots of stuff, great, amazing things, but it actually can sometimes cause you to become confused. I'm all about simplicity. I'm all about breaking things down, making it simpler and easier. Too much is too much. Less is more. So decluttering and sorting out your physical paper, but also your digital as well, is a brilliant way to actually get visibility and bring back that productivity. So a regular declutter on your digital files, I promise, yeah, will actually bring back the energy. So Sue's here. Oh, hi, Sue. So I'm in constant overwhelm. And oh, yes, procrastination is its best friend. Yes, exactly. If we sit in procrastination for too long, overwhelm is just around the corner. And once we get into overwhelm, that is when things start to go a little bit pear-shaped, because we then become a bit catatonic. So the process, so working through procrastination rather than trying to beat it, is all about bringing back that flow. So what causes you to have a block in your flow, Sue? What causes you to procrastinate? Tech is a great trigger for procrastination. If we go to do something and then we don't know how to do it, visibility, vulnerability, yeah, these are all things that can that can cause procrastination. Yeah, so sorting out your folders, creating a plan of action. So once you've had a declutter, once you've got visibility on what you need to do, once you've got your place tidy, I mean, I'm a tidy person. I have to work in a tidy environment. Not to say that people who work in mess can't be organised. It's all about finding what works for you. So if you're quite a scattered person, let's say, okay, if that works for you and you're getting it done, crack on. For me, I need things to be tidy. And procrastination with purpose can really be a useful activity for us. It can help us to calm down and get us ready for what needs to happen. So Sue's saying it's paralysing, not knowing enough about anything and fear of success and showing up. All right, so there's a lot in that, isn't there, Sue? And it can be paralysing. So the strategies for breaking it down. So thinking about what you want to achieve rather than how at this point. A plan, having a plan for your business, because we think we're supposed to do all these amazing things and we see what other people are doing, and that feeds into fear of success massively, because we then avoid pushing forward, because if we're already busy, if life is already busy, our body then tends to think, oh, I don't want more, because that's just going to make me even busier. Having the right tools, having a plan. So you and I are going to talk about this, aren't we? Definitely, Sue. Um, and showing up. So this is then find your version of it. So if you're procrastinating about visibility and showing up online because you see other people doing it 15 times a week and you think that that's what you need to do. So here's the thing, when we were in the VIP the other day, we were chatting with a client, and she hesitates about going live and pushing forward for exactly the same reasons. So, that fear of success, not wanting to show up. And I asked her a question, and I said, okay, so who are your ideal clients? Are your ideal clients sat on social media all day? And she's like, well, no, they're out at work. My clients are working women who use my services either in the evening or at weekends. They're not sat on social media. If you work with people in business, so my job is to work with women who are online all day. So if I show up live at 10 o'clock on a Friday, I can guarantee hopefully somebody's going to watch. If your ideal client is someone who's out at work all day, why do you need to go live? They're not waiting for you to go live. What they want is email content. They want connection. They want you to be contacting them through emails, and showing up on your page and that kind of stuff, putting stuff on Google My Business. So fear of success causes us to procrastinate because we think we're supposed to do it other people's way, and we absolutely don't. So finding your way, Sid, and we're going to talk more about that when we meet next week. Okay, so, and the last one is so creating your plan of action. So once you've got everything sorted, create your plan of action. Planning, planning, planning. I cannot say it enough. Whatever your version of it is, but you need to plan for your business, and that is going to help you to procrastinate a lot less often. The last one is to sort out your goals and break it down. So this is it. Make it simple. Decide what you need to do in your business, what's going to get you where you need to go. So you need to start at the end. What's the end goal? What do I want my business to look like? Who do I want to connect with? What income do I want to create? All these different things, and work your way backwards. Okay, and by doing that, you'll create a plan that helps you to just show up in the moment, because this is the thing, isn't it? What we do on a daily basis is actually what helps us to achieve our very, very long-term goals. Okay, so I tend to just pick, I work on a 12-month basis. Okay, so I've been doing this a while. It's my thing. I love it. I work 12 months at a time, but I focus in the moment. So I have a planning process that allows me to set maybe 3 or 4 big goals for the year, and then work purposefully towards those. My plan is absolutely what helps me to do that. So, okay, so if you feel that you're procrastinating, if you find yourself slipping into procrastination, work through it. Try not to beat yourself up for procrastinating. There is purpose in procrastination. It's about there's information in that hesitation. So it's about finding your flow and working back towards your productivity. So if it happens repeatedly, notice what's triggering it, and use some of these tips. Find your way back to productivity. Okay, so thank you, ladies, for joining me. If you're watching this on replay, please just leave me a thumbs up or a hashtag replay. If you found the tips helpful, please let me know and drop in the comments. And you know, I'd love to know if it has been helpful for you. Okay, so thank you ladies again for being here. Enjoy your Friday and enjoy your weekend. I'm off to Wales to take my daughter back to uni. Yeah, so I'll have no excuses not to get back onto my healthy eating plan as of Monday. Okay, enjoy your weekend and I'll see you soon.